Hi all, this is Allmighty and welcome to this video. So over the weekend I was approached by a subscriber by the name Bruno Pavčević, and he told me that actually on Sunday there was a last round played in the first junior team championship in Croatia. And actually that was quite a good news to me because I was out of the Croatian chess for quite a while now, not playing and not actually looking what is actually happening on the scene, and just lost the whole touch with it. I've been mostly just tracking and just watching over some tournaments like rank candidates, data steel and stuff like that. Tournaments where the top players are playing. But I was actually really glad that he told me about it and also sent me a few games to show as a suggestion, because I was also once a participant in this championship, so it was quite a good trip there, nostalgia stuff and stuff like that. So I just thought maybe I should cover at least one game from that championship. So this is actually one of the games that he suggested, and it's a game between Lukas Jurakić and Jadranko Plenča. So one thing that I wanted to hit on, I didn't want to hit on because at least two times I said on this channel over the videos or on the streams that rating points don't actually matter, but here we have a rating difference between players of 800. So it is quite a difference, and I think that at least it could be mentioned because Lukas Jurakić here has a couple of points close to 1700, and Jadranko Plenča, has a couple points. He is a couple of points shy of the 2500 mark. So he is considered to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, junior chess players in Croatia at the moment. So he is an international master. He plays for the Croatian team, and all around good player, making great results all around the board, so to speak. And we have this game from round one, a very interesting game, so definitely stay tuned definitely going into the game, I would like to keep in mind the rating difference. And also one other thing that I want to, let's say, talk about before showing you the game is this. So I don't want to be the guy who actually shows the games from Carlsen, Caruana, only that, and also show you the games from Fischer, Capablanca, Karpov, and only the top players, only the most famous players, stuff like that. No, I'm a firm believer that chess, all in all, with beautiful positions, beautiful plays, you can find it all around the world all the time. So my once again invitation to all of you guys, if you are interested in, or if you want to see a game shown on this channel which is not maybe necessarily from some famous player, but from you, your friend, or just some people that you like the game from, definitely send it over to me via the comments in the YouTube video, send it via the social media. Doesn't really matter, I will probably see it, and if I like it I will definitely show it on my channel. So that being said, let me just show you this game. We have e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to b5. So Rui Lopez played at the top level, played in the first junior team championship in Croatia. I guess the Rui Lopez is played all around the world all the time, at least every day. So that is always nice to see. We have a6. And just because you can have so much different stuff happening from the Louis Lopez, and I guess people really like it. Bishop to a4 and d6 now. So going for the Steinitz defense, and now we have c3. You would like to push d4 at some point with white, and bishop to d7, unpinning the knight. We have castles, and now g6. h3 played, not allowing bishop to g4, even though I think if bishop to d7 was played, there is no immediate danger of bishop to g4. d4 could be played right away, but okay, h3 is also an okay move. We have bishop to g7, and now d4 played. So you want to keep the tension in the center, at least for a while now, but maybe at some point white would also like to push d5. We have knight to f6 attacking the pawn, and rook to e1 defending. We have castles, and now a3. So, okay, the first move that isn't actually, I haven't yet seen it in a position like this. Usually you would, as I said, make a decision like d5, where you push the knight to e7 or b8 or somewhere else, or you would play something like bishop to g5, pinning the knight, or maybe even knight from b to d2, remaneuvering to f1, then to e3 or to g3. But okay, those are the possible moves, nothing wrong with a3. It doesn't lose anything or anything, just another move that is seen that often. We have h6 and knight from b to d2. And now we have rook to e8 and bishop to c2. So moving the bishop from this diagonal, because as you can see, won't be doing anything anytime soon on this diagonal. Better put it on c2, because now rook to e8 has come, and if captures, then there is additional pressure on the e4 pawn. Now the bishop on c2 is also defending. But now we have knight to h5, wants to jump on f4, so knight to f1, queen to f6, and knight to e3. Now knight to f4 is allowed, but in order to avoid all the complications, white decided to play knight to d5. It is quite dangerous to have at some point the knight on f4, bishop eyeing h3, and also the queen here. So there could be some, tactics involved. So here white decided to force the exchange of knights. Knight captures, pawn captures, and now we have knight to a7. Also possible was knight to a5, because after b4 you have knight to c4 and knight can come on b6. So no danger there, but okay, after capture we have knight to a7. And now we have d captures on e5 and d captures on e5, a very good decision by white, because he doesn't want to give black an option to open up the e-file. And now he had to capture with the pawn. c4 now stabilizing the center, and now rook from a to d8. Which essentially, okay, maybe, I mean, it's not a bad move or anything. Maybe c6 right away would have been a better option. Just make white make a decision here, and also to undermine the d5 pawn. But okay, we have rook from a to d8, but this allows bishop to d2. A very great maneuver by white here, playing the bishop on c3 on a much better square to get a hold of this diagonal here, and also definitely keep the pressure on the e5 pawn. So we have bishop to f5 and bishop to c3. Now actually is the moment where the fun starts. As we can see, white has started to build up the pressure on the e5 pawn, and black needs to do something about it. He didn't want to go to exchange the light square bishop right away, so he played knight to c6. The pawn is pinned from the rook, so the knight can defend on e5. But this allows bishop to a4. Now this knight is pinned from the bishop. As you can see, the rook is on e8, and black has a lot of things to consider here. He has gone in the variation that has a lot of complications, and let's see what happens. So here, couple of moves. For example, if you want to move the rook out of the pin, then you have just bishop captures on c6, b captures, and then bishop to e5. The queen cannot go anywhere. Every square is defended, so rook captures and knight captures on e5. Pawn captures and pawn captures, and after this, white is the exchange up, but black has the bishop pair, so something to go for here. Also possible, for example, if you don't want to, if you play a move something like h5, the idea stays the same. After all of this, you have a bishop captures, and now if the queen she can move on e7, but bishop to g7, and this is a discovered attack on the queen, and once again black is in big troubles. So rook to e5, once again rook captures, pawn captures, so rook captures, pawn captures, and after queen to b2 and something like, okay, maybe even better, queen captures on d5 here, queen captures and rook to e1, and the game continues. As once again said, black has a bishop pair, and this is something that he can go for. But actually in this position, instead these moves, he actually played, black actually played b5. So after c captures on b5, that he can play knight to d4. Okay, so wanted to a little bit, break the tension here, but white could have just taken on a6 and continued with the attack. But here white played bishop captures on d4. We have pawn captures, and now the rook captures on e8 first, rook captures on e8, so everything is forced, and now b6, the best move in the position, because, I mean, the pawn capture on a6 is also good, Both moves bring the attack on the rook with the tempo. Rook has to move somewhere, so if here rook to a8, you play bishop to b5, you have the a pawn passed, but still there are some quirks that you have to consider. So maybe, yeah, better approach was here to play b6, because now if you play something like rook to b8, you have b captures on c7, and after rook to c8, you have rook to c1. Now the pawn is on c7, and the position looks much better for white. And if you play instead of that rook to c8, what was played in the game by black, you have b7. So the pawn is already with two moves on the 7th rank, which will bring black much problems. So after that we have rook to b8, just defending the pawn, not going into promotion, and now queen to b3. Also possible was bishop to c6, defending everything, and now we have queen to d6. Bishop to c6, yeah, just stabilizing here these two pawns, and the idea of white is rook to e1, followed by a rook to e8, and there is, yeah, very little that black can do against it. So we have d3 here, looking for some counterplay, releasing this bishop, eyeing the b2 pawn, and we have rook to e1. Bishop to d7. Now white could have played queen to c4, just have bishop captures, pawn captures, sorry, on c6, having disconnected pawns, and after bishop captures, rook to d1, picking up this pawn, coming rook to d7, eyeing this weakness and this weakness. Yeah, white will have a very easy game here. Instead of queen to c4, queen to b4 was played, which is also fine, because now he forces the exchange of queens, queen captures, pawn captures, and now this bishop is still attacked. But Plenča goes for the counterplay once again. He captures on b2. Now rook captures on e7. You don't want to capture on d7 right away, because then rook captures on b7, and I mean white is still winning here, but you have given some counterplay to black. So there is still a problem of this passed pawn. The pawn on b4 will be captured, so you don't want to go for this. So here rook to e7 was a better move, which was played, and now we have bishop to c3. Wanted to push d2, and now rook captures on d7. d2, of course, knight can just easily capture. Bishop captures, and now the final move of the game, the move that actually brings the quickest victory, is d6. So a very good move, actually, with an idea, okay, I want to capture on c7, and then I have two passed pawns, so definitely you have to do something about it, like capture. But after that, a very simple victory. You can play bishop to d5 and go for this f7 pawn, but even simpler is rook to c7. Because now the next move will be rook to c8, king has to go to g7, and after that you give up a rook for the pawn, and yeah, this is just a rook up, a very easy game for white. The problem was, if you don't play d6, there is always an option of playing a move such as bishop to f4. So if you, for example, capture the pawn, which was the next logical move, you have bishop to f4, rook has to move somewhere. If you move to c8, then king g7, and yeah, this rook is defended here. Also, this pawn can be pushed because the bishop will just capture it. So now you have to just force the bishop out of this diagonal, or come with the king somewhere here, and then just push the pawn to promotion. It's still winning, but yeah, it will take much longer, so d6 was a much better move in the end. So okay, this is yeah, the game that I wanted to show you from the championship. If somebody is interested, I also have the final standings. So for those of you who don't know, these are some towns and some Croatian chess teams' names. Yeah, so grasp a little bit over that. Liburnia Rijeka was first, actually the team that Plenča is playing for, so they once again had a very strong team. I also remember 10 years ago or something like, I'm not really sure about how many years ago I played, can't really remember, but also then Liburnia was first. So keeping a strong, very strong junior chess team, yeah, even after 10 years, so very good for them. But yeah, a very good game here by Lukas Jurakić. Hope this game will actually motivate him even more to continue to play chess, because yeah, he made a very good decisions in this game, and in the end it all paid off. So yeah, this is pretty much it for this video and this game. I would like to thank you for watching it. Once again, I would like to thank Bruno Pavčević for suggesting the game, And yeah, I will see you next time.